Hi YouTube, back to Basics Gal here again. Before we start, I want to share a little bit of info on magnesium and magnesium deficiencies. They're not uncommon in the U.S. It's particularly common in the black community and with elderly folks. Magnesium is used to treat a whole variety and host of ailments. With that being said, the information that I'm sharing with you on this video about the magnesium is how I make and use magnesium oil in the lotion. The FDA requires that any packaging or sales of products that use the magnesium or make claims have to give this statement. It says the statement made here has not been approved by the FDA. This statement is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. This notice is required by the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And since I'm showing you this, I thought, well, I better do something, give some kind of a disclaimer on this. Anyway, now that that's over, I use this pure magnesium chloride. Flakes, and you get this on the internet. I go up to my local health food store and they carry it, but it's pure magnesium chloride. It is not Epsom salts. That's a totally different animal. To make the magnesium oil, you're going to need one of these spray bottles, and it's water basically. For the lotion, I put it in these little canning jars. Anyway, you want to make sure that you clean them in advance. I'm gonna make a half a recipe today, and it has beeswax, and I'm going to use 4 ounces of water, which is half a recipe. This is beeswax that when I buy my bulk beeswax, I put it in, I melt it, and I pour it in these little sticks. It's easier to grate and to chop for me to melt. But today for the lotions, I use these little, they're little droplets of beeswax. It just makes it easier to melt. We're going to use a half a cup of magnesium flakes, magnesium chloride flakes. I'm going to use grape seed oil. I like that. You can use jojoba oil. You can use almond oil. You can even use olive oil if you want. And I use half and half with the coconut oil. And I just use the organic. You don't have to use organic. But I like the mixture of the coconut oil and the grapeseed oil. Anyway, then you're going to want a preservative, and you can use, there's numerous preservatives. Germabin 2 is a commercial line. This is a commercial line brand, and then I've got the rosemary essential oil and grapeseed extract oil and vitamin E. I'm going to use the vitamin E. Here's one I get at Walmart. That's the most common, and it'll be the easiest for most of you to find and locate in the stores. Anyway, I've got the water in the tea kettle on the stove here, and I also have a bain-marie or a double boiler going on the stove. But I'm going to need 4 ounces, and I do use my filtered water, so you can use filtered water you buy at the store. Use distilled. We need 4 ounces. And let me turn that off. And here's the bain-marie that's been going for a while. You can use 2 saucepans for this. Just put water in the bottom pan. Here's the 4 ounces of filtered water. And like I said, again, this is a half a recipe. It's going to make 4 of these little canning jelly jars, and I've already boiled those, so they're sterilized. Now I just poured in the half a cup of magnesium flakes, magnesium chloride flakes, and I will put a link below the video so that you can find where I get these. Anyway, I'm just going to stir this up. And once this is melted, this is all magnesium oil is. You put it in the spray bottle. It feels like ocean spray. From the ocean. It gives your skin that that feeling that you've been in the ocean. It's kind of a different feeling, but if you want magnesium oil, this is how you make it. That's all it is a magnesium flakes and water. I'm going to add the 1/2 cup of organic coconut oil. And again, you can use a whole cup of the coconut oil if you want. You can use a whole cup of the grapeseed extract oil. You could use a whole cup of almond oil, or you can do 50-50. It's really up to your preference. Just as long as it totals 1 cup, that's all you have to worry about. This will only take a second to to melt. The melting point of coconut oil, 78 degrees, so this will melt in a second. I've got 3 tablespoons here of those little beeswax drops. Pustules, I think they call them. Anyway, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I call them beeswax beads. Anyway, I'm going to have to put this back on the stove to melt those. This is, to melt beeswax, it does take a little bit to get those to melt. And I'm going to put the preservative, the vitamin E oil is what I'm going to use in this video today. I'm going to put that in after this has had a chance to cool. I am going to add my 1/2 cup of grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is really a light oil, not only in color, but it's in its texture and how it absorbs into your skin. It's very light. It's not a greasy oil. It really absorbs into your skin nicely. I like that the best for the magnesium lotion. And you see how easily that incorporates in here. Then all I have to do is melt the beeswax. So when I'm going to put this Bain Marie back on the stove, and I'm going to get that melted. And as soon as I get them melted, I will bring you back and show you the next part. Alrighty, I melted that on the stove, and I decided that I wanted to show you this in a glass instead of doing that in a pan. It's easier for you to see this and get incorporated. I'm going to do this twice. I'm using my submersion blender, and I start out on low at the bottom, and I'm just going to gently incorporate the oils and the beeswax together. And I'm going to just blend this a little bit, and then I'm going to let it, put it in the refrigerator to cool, because this is still very, very hot. It's been sitting for about 10 minutes, I guess. Anyway, it's not going to incorporate the, get solid yet, because it's still a little bit too warm. But it is cool enough to add my vitamin E oil, and I'm going to add a 1/2 of a tablespoon of vitamin E oil as a preservative in this, and get that incorporated. I had to take the packaging top off of that. And this will keep your lotion so it doesn't go rancid on you. I do like to keep this in the refrigerator. I find it really a nice lotion that's cooling. I put this on the bottoms of, the best place for it to absorb into your body is on the bottoms of your feet. You can use it on your hands, but your hands don't absorb as well as the bottoms of your feet. And I'm just incorporating it, slowly mixing it. I will put it back in the refrigerator. Once it's in the refrigerator, after I put it in the small jars, I leave it overnight, and in the morning it's a really nice, lotion. It's a pretty thick lotion, and if some of the water teardrops on the top, don't fret about it. That is common with this lotion. And like I said, I do use this on my hands, but most of the time I put it on my feet. But I like the feel of it. It makes your skin very, very soft. Anyway, you can see it's getting, it's nice milky white. And it's still a little bit on the warm side, so again, it's not thickening up on like it does yet. That will take a little bit to get it, thickened. So I will be putting that into the refrigerator to thicken it up a little bit. These immersion blenders, I have two. This is the one I'm marked on. I use it for my soap and cosmetics. I love the immersion blenders. They had them at Costco this last week. I saw them on sale there for $20. I wish I would have gotten mine for $20. This is still a little bit warm. I'll be back after I put it in the refrigerator and let it set up. Okay, I'm back, and I let this sit on the countertop. I don't want to get it too firm. I'm going to stir it again. It's been sitting there about 20 minutes, I guess it's been. As you can see, it's getting more lotiony, but I need to be able to pour it into the jars. So these jars, again, I've already boiled water, and I've sterilized them. Like I said, I'm giving 2 of these away as gifts. This out of the way. You can add, by the way, before you pour, if you're going to add essential oil for smell, you can do it just before this point. You probably want to add 10 to 20 drops of essential oil. Give it one good stir. If you don't have an immersion blender, by the way, just use your blender. Or use a hand mixer. Either way, you don't have to have all these little fancy gadgets. The immersion blenders work great for this kind of thing. I do have 2, one for food and one for my soaps and things, and it just makes it easier with as many things as I make like this. I wanted one that I could use specifically for this. Anyway, but don't be afraid to, to mix it up with the essential oils. Do, lavender and rosemary or, different scents. It's always fun to do that. You could even, instead of using the filtered water, use rose water. That would make an interesting lotion. I make my rose hand cream. My mother loved the rose hand cream. It reminded her of when she was little, and her mother used to make the hand cream. Anyway, these are the final product. I will be putting these in the refrigerator. Like I said, tomorrow they'll be a nice cream. It'll be, you may get a few water spots on the top of it where where it didn't incorporate totally. But that's not a big deal. It's not a sign of spoilage or anything. It's just inherent with it. Anyway, this is Back to Basics Gal. Thanks for stopping by.